Hey, I hope your day's going great. I do a lot of thinking while I'm driving, so I'm really glad I brought the camera with me today, as I'm on my way to pick up some much needed supplies for the farm and some goods that I need to make certain things that we sell. I can't help but I'm really happy with how our farm's surviving right now in this weird time that we have going on. We as small businesses and small farms seem to flourish during times like this, and we haven't had many times like this. But as I've grown up and I have friends whose parents have small businesses, and I see these businesses continue to flourish. They always have, when they're ran right, when they get their business through word of mouth and customer, they treat their customers right and things like that, and they also know their customers' names. And I'm horrible with names, but I try to always learn most of my customers' names and try to be on a first name basis with them. But I'll give you some examples. I grew up with one of my good friends growing up all my life has been Amanda. Amanda, her father owns a pool business. He builds pools. He has always kept his company in his hands. In other words, he goes to every job site, he runs the machines, and he keeps 2 or 3 or maybe 4 employees, and he contracts out some of the other things that need to get done, like concrete work and things like that, from time to time. And he has been probably one of the most successful business owners I've ever seen. Could he have expanded and had started off, with 2 crews and then 3 crews and then 4 crews and then became this huge company that built pools all over the East Coast? Of course he probably could have. He could have done that. But he didn't. And I'm pretty sure companies like that are going to do okay during this pandemic or whatever's going on right now. If you're looking for an opinion from me, I don't know what to think. I have no clue. I'm right on that fence as to we should be out and about doing our daily things and being careful. And I'm on the fence with the other side that says we should all be inside, staying away and kind of sort of self-quarantining. I'm on the fence. I have no clue. On one hand, there's doctors telling us that this is a brand new virus, and obviously there's no cure, just like there's no cure for the flu. However, there's a vaccine. And then there's other doctors that are coming out with, they're labeled conspiracy theorists because they're saying this is all planned. And, there's one side that has this grand plan this is for the downfall of the economy, so politically they can win, or all these different conspiracy theories. I understand, and I'm not counting all that out. I'm not counting anything out. I have no clue. I'm claiming ignorance on this one. I'm claiming ignorance. However, I will tell you, my family, I'm going to continue to produce soap. I'm going to continue to grow things. That's one great thing about this pandemic, is all of the seeds that I put into the ground before this happened, they're still growing. Everything that I planted now, it's still going to grow. Nothing's stopping it from growing. I'm trying the best I can to grow as much food as I can on my little 4,500 square feet that I grow on. And I'm making that available for, first things first, I'm making that available for our family. I want our family, me, Janine, Arlo, I want us to be able to eat our food that we're growing in our backyard. And that is going to be number one. Number two is we are going to provide that food for the local community for sale. If anyone is in need of soaps, or if any family needs vegetables or greens or anything that we're growing and they don't have the money, they've been laid off, they literally have no money for rent, they have no money for anything, we would be available to help them out. So, I mean, I feel like we're in that situation where we can. And I feel like if anyone else out there, I'll give another example. Hancock Family Farms opened up his store one Sunday, opened it up for 2 hours. He ended up probably being open longer than that, to just give away. I think he gave away 4 pounds of meat, all these different meat cuts, and he ended up giving away almost everything in his store that was left. And a lot of other people pitched in to give things out that day too. If more people during this time that were small farmers and that could do what we're doing, the producers in our economy right now, if more people gave to the people that needed it, I feel like there would be a lot more comfort in our society. That whole idea of empathy, give what you can. These ideals need to be brought back in our nation. We need to come together. I don't care whether you're a Republican. I don't care whether you're a Democrat. I don't care about that at all. What I care about is we are all in this together. We are human beings. I think what needs to happen is more people need to be producers. And today I had an amazing experience with Stefano. Okay, he is with Azure Apiaries. His main job is that he goes out and takes care of when people have problems with beehives that have gotten into their house, bees that have created these huge hives under ceilings, and he goes out and takes care of that. So he also makes his own honey, and we contacted each other through Instagram, and through Instagram we came up with a barter. One of the best things right now you can do is have some barters. I've bartered with Keith McNeil at Food Love Farm. I've given him shampoo bars and soap for some eggs. So today we got 2.5 pounds of amazing local honey that was made by bees less than a half mile from our house, and we bartered that for some soaps, and it was amazing. Absolutely no cash exchanging hands. And I'm not sure the government likes this too much, but who's to say we can't do that? I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. So one of those things right now, and I know there's people out there that think the government's trying to take over right now. I don't know. I don't claim to know. And one thing that I know I can control, and I know that everyone out there right now, there's 10 of you that probably watch my channel. I don't care how many watch. I know that every single one of you can control the actions of one person, and that's yourself. I can't get online. I can't sway anybody's judgment by what I say online. As soon as everyone on this planet realizes, and especially everybody in this country realizes that their actions are what need to change, or stay the same if you feel like you're doing everything right, I feel like we won't move forward as a nation until that happens. And guys, there's some change coming. Yeah, and every time I ride down into Amish country, it just reminds me of a simpler time. And I think that our society, and not everybody in our society, but many in our society, have become complacent. Technology has made us lazy. We've become reliant on certain things that we're just constantly used to. As a teacher, I've seen this happen constantly with students each year in the 4th and 5th grade age range that really struggle to understand anything about where their food comes from or what it takes to actually produce a certain product. One year we actually traced back what it takes to have bananas delivered to your door, And it was remarkable to see the amount of people's lives, companies, distribution, pathways, the amount of oil, gas, diesel, labor, fossil fuels, all these things that went into just getting those bananas. And a matter of fact, and bananas are 49 cents or 59 cents a pound. I've never understood that. There's a price to pay for all that, guys, and we're seeing it right now. All these gigantic stores, they're too big to fail. You know, and when they're too big to fail, if they were to fail, if these huge companies like Walmart and Costco failed right now, you're talking about impacting the lives of millions of people. And I'm not talking about the people that are buying things from those stores. I'm talking about the employees. In my opinion, agriculture does not need to be as big as it is. I got into this not even thinking about big ag and all these things that are happening. However, now as I'm in it, I'm learning it. I'm learning it as I go. And I'm learning more and more about it. I didn't go to school for this, guys. The school I went to was trial and error, and I'm learning as I go. I read books. I do a lot of reading on social media. I do a lot of watching on YouTube. People like Curtis Stone, which is one of the first people that I started watching on YouTube that really got me into wanting to, and really got me into realizing that I could grow on a very small area of land. Guys, he makes a living on growing even smaller amount of land than me. My goal is an all-around goal to be sustainable, to have a very diverse set of vegetables and plants that I grow, to be able to bring a very diverse set of life to the farm. The last thing I want is a monoculture where I'm just growing tomatoes or I'm just growing lettuce. Some farms are fine with that. I'm not. I want to try to naturally stay away from disease. So far, it's worked with my no-till and being very diverse on the farm. So, listen, I'm going on and on and on, and I'm ranting, but a lot of times when I'm driving places, this is my time, I think. A lot of people think in the shower. I think while I'm driving. And I decided to pop the camera out to talk to it. And this is just some of my thoughts. A lot of which I'm hoping that this pandemic that we're going through right now, I'm hoping that it changes our society for the good. Michael Kilpatrick put a really good post up the other day about shortening your food chain. In other words, trying, you know, with obviously being the grower yourself being the shortest. So if you're growing your own food, you're growing all your own veggies, then that's the shortest food chain you can possibly have. The next would be like a CSA. Like, for example, if I didn't grow my own food, but I wanted to go get my own food from a farm like Food Love Farm. So if you don't know what a CSA is, that's community sustained agriculture. And that means that they would offer up an amount of produce each week for me to purchase at the beginning of the year, and each week I would go and get that box of produce, and I would pay for it up front. Usually that's how they work. So that's the second shortest. Now the next would be like a farmer's market. That would be like going to the La Plata farmer's market, where all those farmers came and have their things for sale right there. All right. Moving on up the line, and obviously the longest chain would be going to a big box store or going to a supermarket, a gigantic store where they're bringing in tons and tons and tons of different product, and they're getting it from all over the world, not just all over the nation, but the product's coming from everywhere. Just imagine what goes in to shipping a green pepper or a red pepper from Argentina, or bananas from Colombia. Imagine what goes. I mean, think about the weight, how heavy bananas are. I mean, are they coming just by land, or are they coming over on a big boat? Are they picked when they're completely not ripe at all and they're let to ripen? What's sprayed on them in order to make them not ripen? All these things that come into play when you're not growing it or you don't know you're growing it. And one of the best things that I love about being a small farmer in Charles County right now is the fact that everyone that's buying my lettuce mix right now and my spicy Asian green mix and my plant starts, they can come up to me, they can chat to me about what's in it, how I grew it. I can even tell them where I bought my seeds. They can go research that company and find out about the seeds. Where did their seeds come from? I can tell them about I usually get my seeds from 4 places, and I've talked about them a lot, but they can talk to me about what I'm growing. I know a lot about what I'm growing. I've grown it from the amount, I put the seed in the start mix. That seed has grown. I've seen it come out of the ground as a little tiny sprout, and then it grow from its cotyledons to its first true leaves to where it is now. I've seen it all happen, and they can talk to me about that. I know about my soil. I know what I've put in my soil. I know that I haven't sprayed. I can tell them exactly what I've put in. I can talk about the organic bone meal and blood meal and mushroom compost that I use, how I no-till. I can talk to them about that, and they know where their food's coming from. So that's my biggest thing right now, is I think that right now it's very, very important that each of us know where our food comes from. All of it. Even down to your meat. I'm having a hard time. I want to find somebody that's like a local, salt person, because we like salt. I mean, I can get a lot of other things. The major things that I can't get are some of the spices, but most of the things that we eat I can get locally. I mean, from butter to cheese to meat. Pretty much most of the vegetables we're eating right now, with the exception of peppers. We're getting some I like red peppers and orange peppers, and those I like those. We're getting those out other places, but majority of our vegetables right now we're growing, and we're eating a lot of them, pounds and pounds a day of greens. It's also healthy for you, and it's not only growing your own vegetables and putting that work into it and then eating that work, not only has all these other benefits as far as your footprint, but it also has amazing benefit as to your mind. My mind knows that I put all that work into it. Then there's nothing better than the feeling of eating something that you put a lot of work into and knowing that you did that. I mean, the only thing I did not do was create the seed. So, a lot of talking right now. I'm talking a lot about this stuff because it's very important right now, and I think that all of us need to understand the importance of knowing where your food comes from and supporting small business right now. Be a producer. Try to get out there, find something you're good at, and produce it, and go for it. I didn't start Rootbound Farms by saying, yeah, you know what, I don't know, maybe I'll start it one day and then put it off. I didn't do that. I said, I'm gonna start growing food, and I started growing food, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna make a business out of this. Now technically we are Rootbound Farms LLC, so we're limited liability corporation now. And just go do it. Start small, stay small. Hey, I just coined a phrase. Start small, stay small. Greed. Don't let greed get in the picture. No reason to be greedy. No reason at all to be greedy. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my little informational video. I hope that you guys can click like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to continue to make YouTube videos. I'm going to continue to grow vegetables. I'm going to continue to make soap. And we have a little surprise coming up for you within the next couple weeks. That's surprise. I'm going to give it away. I'm going to make small batch kimchi again. So we're going to start making our awesome kimchi again, and we're going to offer that up for sale here at the farm. Thank you for watching again, and I hope that you subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell so you get notifications whenever I upload another video. Stay safe out there, guys. Until next time, bye.